really looking forward to this podcast and all the podcasts that we've got coming up. This one I think is particularly, I don't know, it's sort of near and dear to our hearts and to my heart actually, and it is about why leaders should create a bit of a network. Now, when we think about networking per se, a lot of people roll their eyes, oh, I don't like to network, and it's all about small talk. I think a good shift in perspective is more about it being a support network for you. So many times when we coach people, they talk about leadership being very lonely. And if you particularly are in an organization where you're surrounded by your team members and don't necessarily get to interact with people or colleagues at a similar level in the organization than you, it can feel very lonely. And so having a network of either mentors or colleagues or just friends at work can really reduce that feeling of isolation, because it can feel really isolating for leaders when they don't, they can't just sort of go and vent to their team sometimes. But with a colleague or a friend, you can do it, get it out of your system. They can give you a bit of a rev up and off you go. And so when there are support networks that are established, particularly ones with a little bit of structure, I would say go for it every time.
Hear, hear.
Yeah.
So let's go through those 5 key areas around the benefits and why you would actually surround yourself or put yourself in a support network.
Yeah. Well, I think, just going back to this issue of leadership being lonely,
Yeah.
having a support network can reduce that feeling of loneliness.
Mm.
And it can, particularly because mental health is such an issue now, and particularly because a lot of people are working remotely, you don't necessarily get that connection. And so there are lots of ways that you can tap into a support network, either virtually or face to face, particularly to reduce that feeling of isolation and to help you give a sense of community and a sense that, oh yeah, people are going through similar things that I'm going through. So it's sort of validating in a way.
Yeah, I'm not alone.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. And another reason why I think, it's so good to have a support network is you get different perspectives. You get, like a different or a broader view of things, which allows you to make better decisions. And when you are surrounded with a network of peers and mentor and people who are on the same track as you, or maybe the same kind of like similar vision, we
Mhm.
all kind of like work in different ways because we've got different styles and personalities, but our interest, what's important to us, that value is very similar. And I just think that that helps us to make better decisions, and also will likely bring up things in our psyche that we're not aware of, like our blind spots or a particular weakness. And when we see others, especially in a network situation, if we are kind of like we're having a conversation with someone, they've got a different perspective, and then something comes up for us about that, either whether we're irritated or curious, there is something for us to learn in that. And what a gift it is. And no one needs to know about what's going on inside of you, but you're getting so many benefits from it. So it really does lead to better decisions and a broader perspective.
I know. And I was just thinking, in work environments, when you are connecting with other leaders in the same organization, there are definitely benefits with that. However, there is a wall that comes down when you're networking with people outside of your organization. And I don't know what it is. Maybe it's a feeling you can just feel like you can be more yourself or a little bit looser or whatever it is. There is a depth that you can go to far more readily, I find that initially anyway,
No.
within an organisation, maybe it takes a bit of time because you've
Mm,
got all these other structural sort of barriers that prevent that depth of relationship. And
right.
so, yeah, taking advantage of that can really set you on a really good path, I think, as a leader.
Yeah, and people don't you don't know their baggage. You know, you
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
know about their reputation. You don't know about, "Oh, they spoke to me in a certain way at a meeting, like 2 years ago," and you bring those
spot on.
unconscious biases into it, and they
Yeah,
don't speak the same language. And
yeah.
and so again, you're actually, sparking those little neural pathways to kind of like enliven you, and when you're enlivened.
Yeah, and I was just thinking about some of the networking or support networks that I've been involved with over the years, and some of the professionally, and sometimes people will use a term or a phrase that I've not heard about, and it's the latest book or the latest theory. It's like, oh, okay, tell me more about that, and then I'll go and research. So, which leads to actually the next area, which is about professional growth and development. When you have a
Right.
support network, it can just open up another avenue for you because every leader is going to have a particular interest. There are some leaders that are definitely interested in teams, others in the operation or strategy or whatever it is. And so I find that being part of a support network can really open up your learning and development in new and create new pathways for you because you'll hear a term or a phrase. And then if you are curious and open, a little bit confident, you could ask another question that could lead you to greater understanding and then, building your skill set just through conversation.
Mm,
What an
mm.
easy, and people who are interested in those topics love talking about them. And so, again, the art of, you don't have to be an extrovert, just be good at questioning, you know?
Yeah. And it also kind of, sets a new benchmark perhaps because you see someone doing something that you perhaps didn't think that you were capable of or it couldn't be done before, and again, it's kind of like lifting your level and also accountability, that accountability when you know that there are people who are moving forward in a way that you wanna move forward in.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I just think about all the other support networks that I have had people who I'm coaching be a part of,
Mm,
and whether it's so, for example, one client very ambitious. The support network that this person decided to spend some time and energy on was a mentor support network. So it was about getting mentors for her so that she could expand her, I don't know, her horizons, her level of knowledge and understanding. She wanted to go big. And so that was the focus for her. Whereas other people, leaders might have, they might have mentors and they might have colleagues. And people of the
mm.
same sort of level in the organization that they want to, start to develop a support network. But there is just no downside, really.
Yeah. And I know with us, whenever we have invested our time in a support network, so whether or not it be in business with business development or content creation, how much more productive have we been? Because we know that we've got kind of like a coaching session, the following week. We said we were going to do this. And so we actually had to, like do it, like move into action. And so it's really good to be on that receiving end and not just in business networks, when we've done networks around our self-development and other areas, we have just been so much more productive and it
Yeah.
just felt like we were kind of like on track. It didn't feel like we were stuck or procrastinating.
The other benefit that I've noticed over the years is that opportunities tend to come to those people who are active
Mm,
in support networks
mm,
because it is that recency effect almost. It's like,
yeah,
oh yes, such and such was at that event and she said that she did this and blah blah blah, and then you get a phone call. I've had a few phone calls over the years just because we decided to turn up to a learning and development session with a group of like-minded individuals. It's just
yeah,
amazing how that stuff
yeah.
happens.
Yeah, the energy, like the universe is, like, hearing you. Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah,
So, another area I think is just provides emotional support, and it really does build resilience because
mm,
it gives you the space to decompress and process setbacks, really constructively without having to think about this person's hierarchy in your organization. And it really is good to have encouragement from peers and advisors and helps you stay motivated, especially in, like some of those tough times. And knowing that there is a community can increase your confidence and also allow you to take calculated risks because you've kind of got a support network behind you, you've considered it, you've mitigated risks, you've had discussions with mentors, and it helps you navigate challenges. So there is so much, like resilience and emotional support when you actually, dig into a network.
Oh, without a doubt. And
Mm.
I was just thinking about that in terms of, this is your opportunity. I'm just thinking about another area, like this is your
Yeah.
opportunity to give back. So if your value system is one in which you want to provide some sort of service to others, you can do this via a support network, like going
Yeah.
in with the mental mindset that you are going to share information, you are going to listen intently to people, like that can be your community service. Community service doesn't necessarily mean going out to, your local area and digging, putting plants in and that sort of thing. Like you can actually keep it within your area of interest, and then you can actually give more back. And so, you could think about, this support network as your way of giving back to some people who are either new to, this thing called leadership, or it could be your opportunity to, really listen and be present for those people who do like to have a chat and do like to sort of get everything out. And so, yeah, this could be, your version of community service, being part of a
Mm.
support network.
Yeah, and giving back. And I was
That's
listening to a podcast yesterday from a spiritual teacher, and they said, your purpose is how you bring yourself to every situation, every interaction, every communication. Like, who are you being in that moment? And that is, like your purpose, to actually shine as bright, give as much as you possibly can. And so it doesn't have to be like you said that, like donating to communities, which is fantastic. You can do that and the other, but in every moment do that. And I think the most successful like support networks, people had that mindset coming in, that
yeah.
I'm going all in. I'm going to, like show up as much as I can. Because of course we're going to get, like days that we're on highs and lows, but as much as I can, I'm going to share my best.
Jen, I love that notion of who do I need to be right now as a question going into whether it's a support network situation or whether it's a meeting or whatever. But when you do show up and be fully present, who do I need to be right now? I need to be
Yeah.
somebody who is open and curious, or I need to be somebody who's kind and generous, or whatever it is. Every interaction just is better, 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 better,
Mm.
for you and the
Yeah.
other.
Yeah. Um, the other thing that I thought was interesting is that in a support network, because you're interacting with people who want to move forward, who are focused on achievement, you can get feedback from these
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
Like what a great opportunity from someone who doesn't have another agenda except to be a support. So, what a wonderful opportunity for you, to grow in that area as well. And the other thing I was thinking about is, personality styles, like people with extroversion. Yeah, give me a support network. I'll, jump in. However, it's people with that preference for introversion that perhaps don't tend to do things like that or think that they don't need it. And
Mm.
perhaps you don't need it, but the benefits from it are just going to be so much more because you've actually put yourself, like you were saying, in a different situation. And because people might be getting by, but when you enter in a support network, it's not about getting by. It's about really thriving. It's about,
Mhm.
focusing on creating the life and the professional career that you really want and that you kind of, like really deserve.
Mm. And I was thinking, people go, oh, I haven't got the time to do this. You do not need a lot of time, to get maximum benefit from this. This could be 1 hour a month. Come on, that, or it could be 1 hour a week. But when you
Mm.
think about the benefits, and it's almost like, there's a challenge for anybody, like give it a go for a couple of months, like do a few sessions and just see the benefits and look back and really in a critical, with a critical mindset, think about, okay, so what did I get from those interactions? And you'll be surprised.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think you will build that into your leadership, uh, system.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why I'm really excited to share with everyone what we've been up to. And so, it's been a dream of ours to actually create such a network. and we're calling it, like Leadership for Life. And so it's not just about people who lead teams or lead businesses, even though that's definitely, included. It really is about people who want to contribute, who are self-starters, who think, okay, I've been stuck, but I need something more. I have a vision, and I'm not sure how to get there, but I know that I have the willingness to. And I think, like for you and I, when we start coaching people, we know within the first couple of weeks whether or not these people are going to move forward, because they do the needful. They kind of like, they stick to their word, they show up, and that they've done the homework. And the focus for our Leadership for Life is all about coaching, accountability, and community. And that's why I'm just like so excited to offer that for people. Now, if you have a look on our notes, there's a link in the description, so you can be on the waiting list for when we launch it. Now, if you read through it and it just doesn't sound like that's you, then look for other networks. Like, this isn't just about us. We're not the be all end all. However, I can guarantee that something will shift if you come along with us, but it might be, go seek out a mentor, go seek out just someone else outside your normal kind of realm, because I think 2025 really is the year to move forward on your heart's intention, and that's why I'm really excited about doing, like this Leadership for Life. Okay, Michelle, any last kind of, insights or tips?
Just do it.
Yeah, do something.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. And that's the thing, is like the energy of doing something, like it doesn't have to be a hard thing. Like, what is the one thing that you could do? Like if it's just to research different support networks, just do that. All right. That's a really good place to start. All right, Michelle, awesome having that chat. Really excited about 2025. And if anyone has any feedback around what they would like us to research and talk about, please just drop us an email at info@peopleleaders.com.au.
Bye for now.
Ciao.
If you found this video helpful, then you'll be sure to find these ones useful as well.